Okay, today at the DIY School of Hard Knocks, we have a transom that we have built, and we have just put it inside. We've just dropped it down in, and this is 2 pieces of 3/4 plywood. We have molded together. I used a really good glue. It's an exterior, interior, exterior, waterproof, Tight Bond is the brand of glue, and we clamped it all together. And what I did was, as you can see these screw holes right here, I actually ran screws once it was glued to tighten it down in the center better. But when I'm done, I just pulled the screws out because I don't want them to rust and give me a problem. But anyway, you let that go overnight, and I've got 3 or 4 coats of polyurethane, exterior polyurethane on this. I didn't want to just paint it because that's the way the factory one came. It came painted, and I think that it was a 2007 this boat is, and it lasted till basically I'm the guy that's changing this out. I just got this boat on a deal, so. But who knows? It may have needed a transom a year or 2 ago. But I looked at it right straight away, and I said to myself, there's no way that I'm going to put an engine on that with that transom being that bad, because what happens is you can actually tear up the back of this metal sheeting. You can actually tear that up, and I didn't want to do that. It's in really good shape. Here's the overview of the boat. I mean, it's the guy bought it new, had painted it blue, which why would you do that? I really don't know. But I'm going to paint this. I'm going to sand all that off with the DA sander, and I know that's a job, believe me you, but I've got a really good compressor. I've got an Ingersoll Rand, 60 horse, 18.1 CFM at 90 PSI. So we are going to get her done, and we're going to do it right. I just did a quick clean out in here. But let me tell you something. It's a nice little boat. It's a SmokerCraft, and it comes with a nice trailer, and I have a 18 XD Mercury engine for it, but I didn't want to put it on there. And let me show you something. I didn't want to put it on there with a bad transom. I'm going to show you this transom, and I'm going to show you this is the original. And as we walk out to the burn pile here, this right here, literally, when I pulled that skin off, there's a metal skin I'll show you that I've got in primer right now. Look at this. I can pull it apart with my hands. But that's the overview of the old transom. I did use, here's my other little fishing boat. This is a good little fishing rig right here. But it's got 6 horse Evinrude. My little Evie rig. Look at that little bird in there. They're not even afraid of me. We love the birds here over at the compound. But here's the little back plate, right? This goes over the wood on the inboard side. Now you see these little marks here. This is a shrinking hammer, and this was kind of bubbled up and wobbly, so I had to take a shrinking hammer and get some of them round spots down a little bit. But we've got the etching primer on there. Now listen, when you paint aluminum, don't be like that other guy that just painted blue on top of it, right? Because all you're doing is creating a headache for someone else. But if you're going to paint your boat and it's aluminum, you got to get a self-etching primer. A normal paint or a normal primer will not stick to aluminum because aluminum will oxidize. Okay? And you need something. An etching primer is a chemical reaction that actually etches down into the metal. Okay, so you want to do that. And then, like I said, here is the other part of this here that I've already got these holes drilled out. And you've got these bolts that go through from the backside. And they come through, and then you have a nut with a wing nut on it, or not a wing nut, but a little star nut, and that tightens down. And there you go. That's the SmokerCraft transom. Now you say to yourself, does this boat have the potential to be a good fishing boat? And I would say that's the wrong question to ask. The real question is, do you have the potential to put it back together the way you and your dreams want it to look like? Me personally, I see this boat already done. In my mind's eye, it's completed. I have a lot of projects. I have an old 86 Dodge Ram that I'm doing a concourse restoration on. And I have other things around the house that I do on a regular basis, little projects here and there, and I help other people that need help. But at the end of the day, you need to have the confidence in yourself, and your confidence needs to be higher than a midget's knees. An old timer told me that one time. He said, if your confidence is higher than a midget's knees, you'll be able to do whatever you want. So you got to get out there and try. If not, you've already failed, you know. Just sitting around pointing at things saying, oh, I can't do that, or I can't do this, or oh, that's too hard, I don't have them skills. Well, you're never going to get the skills unless you give it a shot and give it a try. Yeah, you're going to fail from time to time. You're going to say, oh, that was a waste, I can't believe it. But, you know, if you let that failure define you, that's where you're going wrong in life. If you take that failure and say, okay, how do I improve on that, and look at life like that, you'll be able to get out and do these projects yourself. You won't have to hire someone. I mean, I probably will have 8 hours in this when I'm done, but the pride and the satisfaction of knowing that every little thing's done right, and they didn't just have some half-ass guy in there at a boat shop throwing it together and not sanding the edges and just roughing it in, where you ain't going to see it when the caps are on it, but it makes, anybody knows when you do any kind of woodwork, if you leave a rough edge on it, it has a potential to chip and draw moisture. I rounded all the edges, and I really saturated the end grain so that no moisture is going to want to get in there. But, you know, enough said about that. You need to get out there if you have projects that need doing, and just get the confidence. You know, get the confidence up to do it yourself. I mean, look at this greenhouse. I built that during the pandemic, right? I never built a greenhouse before. I got on YouTube and looked around a little bit, and I said, well, I'm going to do it this way, and I know they did it that way, but I'm going to improve on it and go this way or that way, and we got a nice little greenhouse out of it. You know, so you have the potential if you just tap into it, okay? I encourage you to get out there today and stop pointing at things and saying you can't do this or you can't do that. You're only limited by your own limitations, okay? Alrighty, you have a great day.